Hello and welcome to a guide to Pokemon Snap Any Percent. This is not necessarily a beginner's guide, more of like an intermediate. This is kind of like you're stuck at around 26, 27 minutes and you want to get down to like 24 minutes. This will start showing the right path to saving more time. This isn't exactly the optimal strats, as if you watch like world record runs, they don't use all this sort of stuff, not all the time. Some stuff they do, some stuff they don't. But maybe this will get you on the right track. Alright, so because it's an intermediate run, I kind of know to expect some of the basics of the run. But this is more like setups and improvements, maximize points, stuff like that. So, before we get started, just want to make sure we all know. So there is a little bit of cart management, like whenever you're in your little car driving around. If you look forward, you're at maximum speed. Looking backwards, you're at the minimum speed. That actually affects how fast you go through the track. I don't know if beach matters, but I do know that it affects. Hang on, let me turn the volume down a little bit. It does affect most of the other ones, like tunnel and volcano and stuff like that. So. Just be aware, if you're trying to get through the stage as fast as possible, you need to be looking forward. But if you need to take pictures, if you hold down the Z button for camera zoom, you zoom in, that actually locks your speed. And if you're holding down zoom, you can look whatever direction you want and you won't slow down or change movement speed. So if you want to stay at the slow speed, you can look backwards, zoom, and then look forwards. Or vice versa, look forwards, zoom, look backwards, go fastest. So there's that. Also, there is a little bit of movement available in the left and right. The track on most levels is wide enough that if you look in a direction while not zoomed in, you will slowly drift in that direction. There are some points when you need to do a skip, like in Tunnel is the one that comes to mind. You want to skip past the Electrode and the Electabuzz. You can zoom past them. It's a very tight window, but it's easier if you hit Electabuzz. I'll get to that later. But you need to be on the far right side of the track in order to squeeze past them. And stuff like that. But it also helps you get closer to Pokemon and get a better picture. That gives you more points, which you need. So, now that that's out of the way, let's see. So we're going to do a slow run. Let's see, I need to have my notes open real quick. There they are. Okay, so I got some notes, just I did of a couple of, or at least a run of someone who has a much better time than I do. This is AJ Johnson, the guy who made the 80% guide on speedrun.com. Check it out. It's a good beginner guide. And then watch this one, maybe. But, anyways, I'm gonna do a little thing. So, a lot of times people will mash A, or they'll hold down B and mash A, which is like a suggested mashing technique, but I don't suggest it. So, on this screen, on the lab screen, mashing B is not detrimental in any way, meaning that you can push B all day and you'll skip text, you will not repeat text, and you will not select a tab to either go to course or check the album or anything like that. So if you just want to mash A, go crazy. Or mash B, sorry, don't mash A. Mash B, go crazy. And you will get through the text very quickly and you won't accidentally go to the wrong thing. And so if you're good at it, you can just skip right past it and then hit A whenever you're finished to actually go into the run. We're going to hit A to skip the cutscene. If you time it right, you won't really stop, although I messed that up. It's going to be one more button. There we go. For the Doduo, you don't really have to aim up to the left. You can. I've done some analysis, and it doesn't seem to give you that many more points, if any. So it's not a big deal. You can just aim straight forward, and it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Do the aiming thing. You should get Butterfree pretty good. There we go. Good Butterfree. Now we need Lapras. There we go. So the way Lapras works, Lapras is a very big proponent in Beach. It's probably the single most important picture that you need to take. And the thing about Lapras is that there are 3 spots where Lapras will come up. And you have to get them in order for them to progress to the next one. Which means that if I don't take that first picture of Lapras, he will not show up later. So we just heard 2 Meowths. And now we're going to look over to the right. Now a second Lapras should appear here, but sometimes they appear like she'll be going down under the water as soon as you come around the corner, which means you won't get a good picture. Or she'll come up like right now, and then you get a bad picture because it's behind other Pokemon. But what you need to do is get a picture of her regardless of if it's good or not. If it is a good picture, you can just keep going, that's it. But if it's not a good picture, there's one right after Eevee, and you can just spend another 2 seconds or so getting it. And it's a bit better than losing your run to not enough points. So get Meowth when he's straight ahead. Gonna get a glancing shot of Kangaskhan, immediately turn, get a picture of Eevee. If you need to, Lapras will appear right here for an even better picture. That is the best Lapras picture you can get. It is very high points. So let's see, we got Pidgey. I took one too many. Duo. No, it wasn't it. That wasn't it. Let's see. Meowth. Kangaskhan. Eevee. And then I'm going to submit this one just because it's the most points. And in this screen, a lot of times people tell you hold B and mash A. You do that, or you can just only mash B. It's just as fast. So like, here I am holding B, mashing A, and it's a lot of work, and it's not that much faster. I like to use both of my thumbs and just mash the heck out of B. So we just got 1,700 points. Also, at the end of Beach, there'll be, this is on English, there'll be 4 text boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Pokemon Report. Just remember that. So Beach, 4 text boxes, then Pokemon Report. Don't want Pokemon Report. That wastes time. It's dumb. We don't like that one. Alright, we're gonna go to Beach. So we have enough points. We need 2,400 points to get Apple, which means we just need 7,000 more points essentially. You can get exactly 7,000 points at Tunnel. If you take the picture of Pikachu on the ball by Electrode, we're going to take 3 pictures. I'll explain why in a second. We're going to zoom to the right, or the drift to the right side of the track, take the pictures, quit. A good backup strategy is if you're just below that 7,000 range, and wait another second and get Electabuzz. It's a pretty good thing. But the reason we took 3 pictures of Pikachu at the beginning is because it makes menuing easier. You start, just hit down, get Electrode, hit right, get Pikachu, back out. Mash B again. It's easier, a bit less stressful for me. We got right around exactly 7,000, which is 2,400 points. Get apples. This one, go ahead and mash B again. Get a couple text boxes. Go. Back in the tunnel. Chill for a second. But yeah, menuing is another way to save a little bit of time. So you'll kind of get the feel for it. How many pictures you're going to be taking and which ones you need to do. Like Beach is a really good way to menu. Oh, hang on. I was talking about something I forgot. Okay. So In this one, a really good Electabuzz picture that you can get is if you hit him while he's coming up. I usually wait till he passes the electrode, but you can get him before. You stop him twice before he gets to that part where he turns around. He'll turn around, he'll be right behind you. Get a really good picture of Electabuzz. At this point, want to drift to the right side of the track. Gonna snap forward. You can look down if you want, doesn't really matter. I wait until the cursor's right in the middle of the electrode. And then Cocoon is going to fall right in our path. Turn a little bit, get a good picture of that one. Let's see, Zubat's going to be here. So we're going to get Zubat. At this point we can look at the floor or the ceiling, it doesn't really matter. Wait a second, because Magikarp is coming up. Let's see. Probably get another. So for this part, we need to be on the left side of the track. So we're going to hold to the left until we're right up on the wall. Snap forward. So a really good Haunter picture is going to come up right now. And so you see Diglett. Diglett is going to go down, and now is our chance. I usually aim at that circly thing right there. That's a pretty good way to get real close to it. And then if you need to, you can just... We don't want to hit Diglett any later than that, or really any sooner, because this is like a really good Dugtrio picture. We don't want to waste that. So if you get it too early, Dugtrio is way too far ahead, stuff like that, you just don't get that many points. This is the best way. So at this point, you're going to come around the corner. I throw apples at the highest point in the ceiling, which gets the two back ones to connect right here in the middle, close to Magnemite. Get everyone to, hey, there we go. They're going to go meet up when you push them back together. Get it set up, throw a picture of Electrode, turn around, get a picture of Magnemite, Magneton. That wasn't the best. I had a good picture before I turned. I should have snapped it then. But ideally, you want to set up Magneton, hit Electrode, and then in that time when he's about to explode, then you turn around and get Magneton. I had a good picture and I kind of squandered it because I'm talking at the same time, but either way is fine. That's a good Haunter picture right there. I usually wait for Diglett to come up like that. I don't know if that gets more points or not, but maybe, not sure. Okay, at this point, getting some good points here. No, you got a good picture when you get at least 3,000 points. Or if you're really close. See, that was a bad Magneton because I waited. I should have gotten it before, but I was just trying to make a statement here. Okay. When I come back for the sign, I'll redo it and I'll show you how it's supposed to be done. But here we're gonna start Volcano. So most of you guys know that you can do this. Rapidash right there. Okay. So here is a thing. Vulpix gets you a good amount of points, and there's two sets of Vulpixes, and a lot of times people will tell you to go for that one, but if you can, I suggest going for both and getting these ones too, as these will give you more points. Those two Vulpixes give more points than the single one because you can get within about the same range, and you get the second one, which gives you bonus points. So I usually get about 500 or so more points for getting the two than I do for the single. So keep that in mind. Also for an intermediate, Charmander quick. A lot of times, a lot of guides will tell you to get Magmar right here, which is technically faster. But if you want to get early Pester Balls, you might have trouble getting enough points. And I usually have hard time getting consistently enough points to get the early Pester Balls. So just as a safety strat, I always get Fighting Magmar, which Fighting Magmar, if you get the perfect picture, it's actually the highest, or the, sorry, doing two things at once. Fighting Magmar is the best picture besides Mew, if you get it right. If you get, I think the maximum amount of points you can get for Fighting Magmar is like 6,000 points. Mew is like 10,000 points, but besides Mew, Fighting Magmar is one of the best pictures you can get. Has some of the highest point values. It'll give you like a bonus of like at least 1,000 almost every time. Charmander, I think I like this Charmeleon better. Moltres and Fighting Magmar. Even if you're not that close, it's still a lot better than a regular Magmar. So we got 4,000, about 4,000, 25. Not very good Charmeleon. I still need to work on my Charmeleon because I waited till I got really close to Charmander, which means that you're going to get a bad Charmeleon picture. In that situation, you can either turn the camera around, unlock the camera, then relock it, and then you'll slow down a bit, which gives you a better picture of Charmeleon, but it also makes you go slower. So just keep that in mind. Got 4,000 points from Moltres. Here we go. We got 800 for the special, times 2 makes it 1,600. We got an additional 1,600 points just for getting Fighting Magmar. We have 4,000 points for that picture. That puts us just underneath, which is unfortunate.
Welcome back.
For the sake of the guide, I'm actually going to redo Volcano. Oops.
Yes.
Because I need to get that Charmeleon pick again. If I hadn't messed it up, this would have been a perfect example of how to get early Pester Balls. That was my bad. I flubbed that. Squeeze back through. But yeah. The thing about the 2 Vulpixes is that it's not as reliable, I'd say. Like, I feel like I don't get it as often. Just because they can be kind of finicky and they can be all over the place. They kind of roam around and sometimes they can be really far apart and it just doesn't work out. So, I still need to practice Volcano. I think Volcano is my weakest level by far. Those together. Alright, we're gonna get Charmeleon. A lot of times people would get Magmar here. Show ya. It's Charmeleon. That's a good full picks right there. That's Magmar. Charmeleon. So you can get a good 4,000 points on the double Vulpix, whereas a single Vulpix, let's see, go back. Single Vulpix will get you around 3,000. So that's an extra 800 points. Sometimes that's the difference. Magmar. Regular Magmar can get you maybe 3,000, 3,300 or so. But this gets you another 800 points. So I always say go for Fighting Magmar, especially because it only takes another second and you can get another 800 points. A lot of times that is the difference between getting early Pester Balls and not. And that's a better Charmeleon. That's what I wanted. Okay. So now we have enough points to get early Pester Balls. Now, if you are running on VC for the Wii, we have an issue. Also, mash through that. Pester Balls has a very small amount of text boxes, so you can mash through it pretty quickly. Just be aware of that. Like Apple has like one of the longest. It has like 8 text boxes, which is annoying, especially if you mess up. So just mash B through it real quick. But with VC, there's some weird detection issues with Pokemon because Pokemon Snap does not emulate very well. And the Wii one is fairly decent, and it's a lot better than most of the N64 emulators you'll find out there, which absolutely do not emulate Pokemon Snap. But the Wii one is pretty decent. But it does have weird detection issues. One of the things is that for early Pester Balls, we're going to go in, we're going to immediately snap a picture of Poliwag, who is behind the bush, then we're going to exit. In VC, that grass area is almost considered like a wall, and it blocks Poliwag even though it's invisible and you can see it. Hang on. Excuse me. So, it blocks Poliwag even though you can see it, and you won't get a picture. Oak won't recognize it. So you have to be careful. For VC, it's best to throw an apple in the river, and try and get a Magikarp to show up. And if that doesn't work, you can get Bulbasaur. But those are your options. So N64 is better for that. But I actually just got Pester Balls, but we're still going to do it. Just run in, get a picture of Poliwag, and exit. If you have enough points, you already unlock the Pester Balls. And you immediately exit, get a really cheap picture. So you still get Poliwag in your Pokemon report, but you don't have to wait around to get Pester Balls. You can immediately get Pester Balls and go right back into River. This run is not a very good example of that because I actually didn't get early Pester Balls because I messed up. But yeah. Anyways, since we already have Poliwag and we don't really need that many points, we're just gonna ignore Poliwag. A good spot to get Bulbasaur to come out is hit the side of that log. Turn around. Bulbasaur. Now at this point you'll see Slowpoke. I always throw as early as possible, because if you get him over there, he will start fishing, then you'll get a really good picture of him and Shelter. So, wait till you're close. Get a good picture. Didn't need to do that, but I did anyways. Got Shelter, throw an apple, let it turn around. If you throw an apple in the river, then he's guaranteed to turn around, and he won't stop and try to eat the apple or chase it or anything like that. So, be careful when you throw apples like that. Also, I have to snap forward, and I kind of move my cursor up here. Know you got it right if you hit that little seam right there between the two. You throw a Pester Ball. If I can hit Metapod, please. Thank you. Hit both of them. Boom. Throw them. Get away. You get bonus points if there's two of them in there. Also, I don't know how I messed that up. Let's see with Porygon. Throw over the hill like that. Hit him with another one. Throw an apple in front of him. Whenever he's done with his deal, face there. There are 3 spots for Shelter and or Cloyster. You did not get Cloyster, which is unfortunate. Cloyster is kind of a run killer, because you can technically go get Jinx, but it's guaranteed time loss. So, for the sake of the run, we're going to keep going. But if you don't get Cloyster, that's kind of like you're guaranteed to not PB. Unless this is like your first run. But, actually, I think I like this one better. Yeah, so if Cloyster doesn't show up, it's not over, but it's kind of hard to recover from that. Got a good Porygon there. I continue here. 4,000, 3,000, 4,000, 3,000, 3,000. Already done better Psyduck. If you have 32 Pokemon at the end of that, you need one more. than you normally would in Cave, which means you have to go get Jinx. If you have 33, like with Cloister, then you don't have to worry about it. But we're going to come back. Let's see. Grimer's going to show up here in a second once we pass Zubat. There we go. Let's see. Looking forward. Grimer's kind of a weird spot. He almost never looks towards us. But it's not that big a deal. We don't really need that many points from Grimer. Gonna throw an apple. And we're gonna hit Bulbasaur / Ditto. Hit him. Turn around. Hit Muck. Back forward. And going. So most of you guys already know about these Pokemon here, so it's not a big deal. Loop Buff and Coughing, set up for that. But what I'm going to talk about right now is there is a easy setup for the cave sign, which we're going to need to get here in a minute. Not now, but on the run back. And it's this area right here. Essentially, whenever you see these walls here, hang on, I need to get a picture. Forget about it. Somehow didn't get Coughing. Right. Might not turn out well. Victory Bell, Weeping Bell, and Victory Bell. There we go. So, whenever you have these walls and they meet, you get a seam. So, this right here is a seam for when these two walls meet. Stuff like that. Also, for VC, Jinx shows up really early because they render farther, but it shows up on N64. I'd say right about here, whenever you stop going down, is a good place to get it, but you might want to play with VC and see when it is. But on my next run through of Cave, I'll show you the setup for the sign. But yeah, there's a seam between two walls, and there's like a vertical area where the texture is a little weird. And it's kind of hard to spot, but once you get the hang of it, you can set it up right there, and you will, when the camera pans left, it'll automatically put your cursor on top of the sign, and you can hold down boost, and you don't have to move the camera after that, and it's really handy. So, exit out right now. Ditto, Muck, Jigglypuff, Coughing. Grab Jinx. On our way.
You were close. Wonderful. 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 Wonderful.
I still somehow got 3,000 points on Coughing.
You were close.
So right now we have 116,000. We need 130,000 at the end of Valley. Scroll down my splits for a second. There we go. Show this up. Stream. We need 130,000 points at the end of Valley, which means we need 14k. Now, if you get a picture of Dragonite and Gyarados, that's about 7k. So that would put us at 123, which means we need another 7k. And at this rate, if we're getting 3,000 points per picture, we can safely assume that getting 2 points would put us barely, maybe right in there, but if we want to be safe, we'll take a third picture, just to make sure that we get it. And some people have a backup strat where they go for Snorlax on beach, but I do not suggest that, because you have to wait to get Snorlax, whereas in Valley you're already passing by the Pokemon, so you might as well just grab another picture. It just makes the menuing barely any longer, and always say that is faster than doing the whole thing with Snorlax. So, guys, we're gonna go to course,
Yeah.
go to Valley.
Yes.
First things first, we immediately take a picture of the sign. We cannot forget that. Let's see. So if we're taking 3 safety picks, we're gonna get Squirtle, boom, we got 2 Squirtles, we get bonus points. Let's see, you can hit that Magikarp at any time. There. He is always in this spot here. Even after he stops jumping, you can come right back and just shoot right over here. Those points, or get that Magikarp. He's right here. When the texture changes, right there. Just throw a Pester Ball right there. Our other two pictures are real easy. We're gonna get Geodude and Sandshrew. That's it. Look at this guy, and we're gonna keep going. So for anyone wondering, any percent and 100% are almost essentially the exact same run. All the way up to Valley. So the only difference is that in any percent, you just go through as fast as possible. 100% need to go back to all the levels for the signs. So that's when you go back with all your equipment, and that's when you go back and try and get all the Pokemon. So in 100% you would look for Goldeen, maybe Dratini, but Goldeen is the really important one. Also like Staryu and stuff like that. Magikarp. Yeah. So the thing about Gyarados is that he lags the game up a lot whenever he's on screen. So what you don't want is for him to be on screen that long. So listen for the audio cues to know when he's doing his little blast. That second wow noise is whenever you're gonna get a picture of him. So do whatever you can to try and keep him off screen as long as possible, and then you get a good picture. Also, I could have drifted to the right to get more pictures, but I would get more points. But I'm not really that pressed for points, so I'm all good. Dragonite, snap forward, turn around. 1, 2. Third roar is best roar. Now remember, if you're gonna hit Mankey, you need to aim for Mankey. Don't aim for Squirtle. Obviously, you have to hit him, but to line it up, aim for Mankey and then wait for Squirtle to get in the middle. Also, there's a way to skip Mankey here, and it's kind of hard to get used to. I'm still learning a good setup for it, but there you go. You want to aim a bit more to the right. You want to aim really low, because if you don't, you're just going to be throwing way off to the side, and not going to hit him. So, all right. So in this cutscene, we can just mash B, and we'll get through really quickly. You don't have to hit A at any point during that. You can just mash through B. Sign. F1. 2. 3 safety picks. As well as Gyarados. Dragonite. Alright. 3,000. 2,000. 2,000. Oh, just 3. And that was a high 7,000. For the Gyarados and Dragonite, which puts us 2,000 points over. I don't think I could have eliminated a picture out of that, so it was probably a good thing I took 3 pictures. But now we are set to continue, and we are about to go back. Mash B. Also, at the end of Valley, your cursor is going to be set on Pokemon Report. One of the reasons why I always mash B is because if you hit A, you go to Pokemon Report, it's guaranteed like 5-second time loss. So if you mash B, you hear me, I'm hitting B, you can't go into Pokemon Report. So that way you can not accidentally do that, because I almost always accidentally hit Pokemon Report because I'm too busy, trying to go fast. But mash B, then quickly go to course. Doesn't really matter what order you do. Depends on how you like. But if you're doing 100%, you can go down to return, then down to beach, or you can go up to cave. Doesn't really matter, because at any percent, you can do either or first. So we're gonna do cave because I want to show you that setup. So immediately we're going to lock the camera. Look up for lag reduction. Go through here. So when you get into this new room here, that forward, and it's right here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but hang on, I'll line it up better with the pause. Yeah. So right where the E is in pause, there is a vertical line where the texture looks a little funny, looks a bit more compressed. And there are two walls, essentially. There's on the top and on the bottom to make like a slightly, is it convex? I don't know. That's concave. That's concave. I'm dumb. It's a concave angle over there on the wall, so it makes it look like a circle almost, like a rounded wall. But there is a seam there, and if you aim right here, which is right where the two walls meet, and where that vertical line is, you get right here, then you try to aim for it right before the camera pans, it will end up right there. I'm going to try it one more time, because I was kind of rushing that setup, but it's real easy once you know what you're looking for. We're going to go into the next room, right up here, going to look down. It's this spot right here. Hold it, try and get it set up, and it's going to start panning to the left. Hang on. Try it again. Focusing too much on getting it set up. But if you put your cursor right there, it'll be right next to the sign, and you can immediately take another picture. Here. Aim right here, maybe a little lower. Hands left. Okay. Do it one more time. I don't like how I'm not getting it. I almost get it. Maybe I'm aiming too high. To the left a little bit. Come down a little bit. There we go. Just like that. It's not perfect, but it's pretty decent. Play with it a little bit. Make your own little points of interest that you can get it set up perfectly every time. Poke flute. At this point, we need a poke flute for river, and we also need it for tunnel. So whatever direction you're going, doesn't matter. Up or down. To the menuing. Let's see. We're gonna come over here. As soon as you bend the curve, got the poke flute. Keep zooming, get in front, get a picture, and then we're done. Not much of a setup for that one. That one's pretty straightforward. At this point, Professor Oak doesn't have any more messages for us, so we can just say volcano. So this is a better setup that I have. So hang on, right there. So if you look on the skybox, there's an area where it is dark and then it transitions very quickly to a lighter area. And there's a very distinct line right where my cursor is, right below it. Kind of like a check mark almost. That's the part where you're going to aim for. You're going to aim for that corner area just to the bottom left of my cursor. And that's like a little fold in the skybox, a seam where two sections meet. And you want to aim for that area at the very beginning. So we're going to hit retry and immediately aim for that area. Aim a little higher as you go forward. Why is it none of my setups work today? There we go. So I definitely say practice it because you can get it really good. Yeah, maybe too far to the left. Right there. All these things take practice. But that area right there is the part where you really want to get right here. Maybe a bit to the right of that corner area. There we go. That's more accurate, more consistent. So. So for Volcano Sign, instead of struggling and, oh, I gotta hit it, I don't know. Like, maybe you can. There are other setups. But that's one I like to use, because you just immediately go there. And voila. Got your sign.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. Welcome back.
Alright. Now for tunnel, we immediately zoom. We're going to hug the right side, get on the right side of the track. Get right about here. We're going to try and hit Electabuzz. Because he's out of the way, we can zoom past him. I missed a couple times, so it wasn't that good, but you can squeeze past Electrode. Throw a couple Pokeballs. Pikachu's range is pretty good. You don't have to be that close to the egg, but you can't do it like as soon as you walk in the room. You have to actually throw an apple first. I play 100% as well, so I'm just kind of used to getting Zapdos. But obviously you don't want to get him if you're not doing 100%. Got the sign. If you have good timing, you can get it while it's flashing. I usually just wait till it's solid because I'll end up missing it.
Oh, wonderful.
You don't want to get trolled by the game, so. Alright, last level.
Welcome back.
We have Beach. Get the cutscene, hold R. Zoom past it. Snap to the left. And as you pass it, gotta keep the cursor on. Boom, done. No need to slow down. Got the picture.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh, wonderful.
So in this next section, Professor Oak is going to give us a long dialogue about Mew, and then going to put the cursor on go to course, and then the cursor is going to go to the new Rainbow Cloud course. So if you want, just mash A, or you can alternate between A and B. I think the alternating is faster, and since there's no risk of anything actually, because you can't repeat text, and you're not going to go into like Pokemon Report, I'd say just go crazy on A. So
Welcome back. Yeah.
blast right through it, hit Rainbow Cloud. There we go. Now, the thing about Mew is that Mew has a couple of like predefined patterns that he goes through. There's that one where it comes up to the left and the right, right and left. If you practice enough, you'll start to learn where he's gonna go. Like he's gonna stop right there. Try that. Make it better. There's that. I always like to aim just a little bit over like the regular mid-level, just a little bit higher. Seems like it works better for me that way. But it usually has two that he starts on the left. There. And the one that starts on the right. It goes first from right, goes left to right. Starts on the left. All that sort of jazz. So just play with it. Get used to his patterns. It's not necessarily any predefined patterns. Well, I say that, but someone misunderstood me when I said that. So there are specific paths that he will take. Hang on, he's on the right side. We get a picture of him. But they're randomized and they're in no particular order. So, but if you learn them, like his path that he's going to take, you can hit him more effectively. So,
You made it. See
mash
you
A and B, hit A, and we're done. So that was a bit unfortunate with the Charmeleon at Volcano, and we didn't get Cloyster, so we had to do Jinx. But hopefully, some of those tips will help you get better. A lot of times I see people struggling with the Haunter and Diglett section. You could probably get a couple more points out of Haunter if you wait for one more cycle, but you just got to be careful because you don't want to miss Diglett. Also, you want to drift to the side on that one. Oh, I was going to go back and I was going to do Magneton. I'll go back and I'll do that again. But there are a couple setups that'll just get you more points. Continue. Like the Kakuna setup. What else?
Yes.
I always say go for fighting Magmar. There we go. That's the optimal way to hit Electabuzz. With the whole hitting Electrode right there and getting the Kakuna, it's a good setup. The Haunter and Diglett setup are good. Let's see. Double full picks. Lapras is something to keep in mind. I don't know. They're just little tips and tricks. As with any run, you just want to practice a lot because you really need practice in order to get a handle on it. Go. Electrode shows up. We immediately aim for the highest point in the ceiling, which is this area right there. That should get the back two. I should get all three going. The back two are going to get set up. A picture of Magnemite. I keep hitting Magnemite. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm going to do it until I get it right. But the idea is, with Magnemite there, ow, I kept going. Tight fit. You gotta stop at some point. You can't just keep zooming. I usually stop at that seam right there. Electabuzz. Yeah. But with Magnemite, you want to throw at the highest point in the ceiling, which will hit the back two, get them coupled. And then at that point, you get the first one that's closest to you, come closer to you with an apple. And then you take a picture when you're close. He will then run away from you, but he should go immediately backwards into the other two. While that's getting set up, you turn, you hit Electrode, come back, throw an apple, and get a Magneton. So we're going to stop right about here. Wait for it to load in. Right. Last point. Go another apple closest to you so that this Magneton didn't get that one back there. Come on. There we go. They're going to come closer. It's going to push him back. In the meantime, Electrode. Boom, we got a good setup. If you have time, you can throw an apple and get another picture. That is a nice little save. Whenever I'm doing runs, I usually start this cutscene right before 6 minutes. That is a good way to know that you're like on pace. Because if you are behind that, like if you're at 6 minutes before you even start that cutscene, you're a little bit behind. There's a good Magnemite. And this is the Magneton I wanted. There. Aiming at you. So, about the same. And this one, really? Okay. Well, normally that turns out pretty well.
Welcome back.
But, anyways. Keep at it. Hopefully some of these little things help you out. This isn't like world record stuff. Obviously, I have a 23:26, so I am still 2 whole minutes behind world record. So I am not the master. I am not the end all, say all, whatever you call it. So, but hopefully, for those of you who are starting, this will be helpful for you. And yeah, best of luck to you guys.